Yeah. I got on now. If you buy your style rap, a 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all still. 10,000 a dime. Play with these rats, I'm a ball player. Flow like a butterfly, Lambo the beat. I take a shop in a pair of the seats. You see me popping, they staring at me. This ring, it cost me a hair on a key. I told my dentist to carrot my teeth. We racking the boat, take a V. This Margiela 2003. Push started, you know I ain't least. Forget, I'm cool on her, on the catch. She do what I said, she gon' fetch. I'm in this without regrets. Jimmy and my coupe, I SS. I drill when I walk, I'm possessed. This rose look good on my flesh. These Rolls Royce back to back, yes. I'm floating on this shit like a jet ski. Come on, can't test me. In Florence, Dubai next week. She chocolate, she like Nestle. Got broccoli, pockets is healthy. Binoculars and they Balenci. With the lid read, I'm tryna make 200 M, please. 100, walk around with 10 to D. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck, I'm rockin' the Rolls one. Platinum stones, I might have stones, yeah. Still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got the on now. If you buy your style rap, a 50 on hour. I see through the skies, yeah. I spend every time. Look at their faces, they all still. 10,000 a dime. Play with these rats, I'm a ball player. Push on my team, I could never be a trader. Like Raiders, we ball, never thought they'd rate us. I'm gonna about to drop on in label, but putting in this label, I ain't asking for favors. Drop me on smash spiders. Ain't no bait out of ass tangle. No interviews, ask me later. Like take off, I'd rather be rich than famous. Yes, might go call JoJo to protect. Oh no, could be cool to collect. My diamonds and gold in the chest. Hit down me a Louis V chest. Put it on, I can go down me, R&B Virgil, he gave me the credit. 10 years from now, look back on the shit, and I promise I'm doing my best. They go, NCS iconic. Let's go, let's count out this money. Good loaf, the bread and the butter. Good toast, now ain't that ironic. I'm digging it up, he ain't throwing it. She hate when I go, she hook on like funny. I float, I'm smoking on this chronic. Eat diamonds, hit when it's sunny. VS Stone, sit back, stroll. Pull up Rolls truck, I'm rocking the Rolls one. Platinum stones, I might have stones, yeah. It's still going chrome, yeah. I got the on, yeah. I got the on now.
Today, we're going to talk about the PLL Championship Series, NBA and CBB winners, and we got to cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. I mean, Chucky Hepburn had Boopy Miller in jail. It was tough to watch. Maybe the worst game I've ever seen. Boopy Miller missing layups left and right. Couldn't cover a parked car. You got Chucky Hepburn jacking up threes. Didn't have a chance because for some reason, I don't know why, but in hockey, a 2-goal lead is actually like losing. It might be worse than losing. You might as well be losing because a 2-goal lead is never safe.
This feels like a game where Ohio State can make this weirdly close, but it's a game where you look at it and you're like, okay, Purdue should dominate at home, and you turn it on because it's a tied game with 3 minutes left and Ohio State's fighting. I think this is going to be a close game when really on paper it shouldn't be at all.
And then I see this quote from the coach, his starting center, Tomislav. He literally said, deathly ill. The kid's sitting on your fucking bench. What are you talking about? He's deathly ill. He looks fine to me. And if he is that sick, why is he sitting next to the rest of your team? Are the neurons in your brain not functioning? What's going on up there in Illinois? What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 637. Peace. As always, hold the fry, joined by your two hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, today could be a great day to start. Go over there on the App Store, Google Play, download Bookit Sports, and start tracking your bets. The best bet tracking app out there by far. Bookit Sports, go check it out. We got a subby coming in. I don't even know if that's deserved after the squad ride last night, but we got Trot's picks coming in. Thank you, Jovan, for the Brandon Clark play last night. Sure.
Yeah. Cake in the game, not cake for Clark, though.
One of the few plays that hit yesterday, and I'll go ahead and get it started today by taking all the blame for all the shit plays yesterday. Terrible day of plays. We can go ahead and do the recaps, get them over with. Squad rides, Moose. Looked good in the first half, fell off in the second half. Too many points. Too many points. Did not get there. Let's take a peep at the Sharp report and see how we did over there. And that was pretty much just his cake. The old 0-5 trick. One of the oldest tricks in the book. Cannot make it.
Bounce back city for Krabs.
Gonna have to be. I love my plays today. We're bouncing back. We also are spinning a wheel. Okay, because that play, those plays were just absolute quail shit. We got Like Lightning coming in, resubbing. 2 years is wild. Time flies. Thanks for the insight. Shout out the Hoosiers yesterday. Sure. Okay.
I might crown myself as best Hoosiers big dog better of all time.
Sure. Yeah, they came
It's
through.
actually insane.
For coach.
They're terrible. Single time I bet them as a big dog, they almost went outright. Or they do, like they did last night against Ohio State. It's actually insane.
We got Mook coming in, resubbing as well. Vooch 3's ladder going to feed villages. Mook saying. Sure. We got Cubbies WC coming in, giving out a subby. Let's fucking go, dude. Yes. Yes. Pretty good vibes today after a moose shit day of plays from yesterday. So I love the energy from chat. We're going to reward you guys with some winners today. And again, I apologize for the terrible plays yesterday. Okay, we're locking in today. Spent some extra time this morning crafting up some winners. All right, we're going to find you guys some spoon-filled, signed, sealed, and delivered plays that are turning green tonight. All right, so stick with us. We're going to spend some extra time on the squad ride at the end of the show today. Make sure we're crafting up a couple winners for you guys to choose from and making sure we're dialed in. Okay? Jovan, can we recap the TNT two-piece? Because that actually hit again. You can't script it.
Yeah, that hit. That was Maul. Somehow, some way. Cat was
It hits every
literally
Tuesday.
him. Yeah, it was the second I saw 240 totals, I know we had something to cook with. It was funny. I mean, Cat was literally legacy game Cat. Love that. Brunson Taco, I'm sure. Then Wells just came out splooged, got in foul trouble, but didn't matter because he's already green.
Yeah, insane how that played out with Wells. You were filling us in this morning how he had a quick 8-piece and then didn't do anything else the rest of the game.
Yeah, he had a quick 8-piece, then fouled the entire team. Like the next handful of possessions and really didn't play much the rest of the game.
Sure. All right. Well, let's lock in today, chat. We got to get dialed in on CBB after an atrocious day. We got plenty of games today, some great matchups, and we've got every team playing in the NBA, I believe, tonight as well. So an absolutely loaded slate over there. We've got we've got a PLL and a WLL game tonight that we're going to talk about. Spoon feed you guys some winners over there as well. Could not make it to the Champ Series last night, unfortunately. There was a fucking blizzard outside. Can't make it up right at the time of the game. So get to head over there probably tomorrow as long as it's safe and sound. But still cashed a first goal score. Can't make it up. Place those bets because I thought we were going to be there boots on ground. Next thing you know, I'm watching on the fucking TV on ESPN Plus and Brad Smith plus 1,100 cashes. So, of course, that would have been a great video in person, but that's probably why it hit, to be completely honest with you. So we take it. Plus 1,100s don't grow on trees. Jovan Pax Picks is asking for some pitch kick in all caps. Do we have some games starting up soon?
Oh, yeah. There's one, I think, starting up right now or in a couple minutes, but the rest of them start up in a couple hours. But I don't know. I don't really care to get involved with the first legs too much.
All right. So we can take our time and maybe talk about some of these afternoon games on the pitch. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. We're going to get that wheel up and moving here, Goots. Go and dust that puppy off after an 0-5 day. Has to be done. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Okay? Do we need to add anything to the wheel, Goots? And after just an atrocious day, would not mind adding something bad.
We have 9 options, so again, if you want to make it 10,
okay,
we can add another one.
Anybody in chat have a rec? Something that's going to scare the daylights out of me and make me just absolutely dial in and have to find winners. It's the only choice. Anybody have a punishment like that? Let me know. Okay. Would love to do a vintage wheel spin here. Let me know if you guys have any options. Okay. 999 challenge. I think that's on there.
Eagles
unfortunately
futures
already.
Mm-hmm.
No futures. We need immediate gratification.
Yeah, people forget you cashed an Eagles future ticket.
Yeah, really not happy about it, but we'll take those coins. And I'll be honest, I did not put much on that. Take Beal first basket until it hits. Give me a fucking break.
That's a good one.
He doesn't even start anymore, does he? Maybe he does now.
I don't know if he does.
No, he didn't start. He goes with the bench.
He doesn't even start,
Yeah,
so
that
it'll
would
never hit.
be never ending. Yankees.
We got DeRaffi coming in resubbing. Any double bagels today?
There was a triple bagel. I don't know why it's off the board, but it's off the board.
Okay.
It's not even juicy.
Pop tab 2-piece until it hits.
Wow. That could be the difference. I guess that'll be kind of tough though, if this being the last day of, or second to last day of the NBA before the break.
Yeah.
Let 2 viewers run BTL for a day, and you guys will tell all the plays.
That should go well.
Yeah, no.
Pop tab for NHL is hilarious.
Mega Max.
We don't have NHL for a couple weeks, but
Rendon jersey purchase.
we got PP Gurus coming in with the resub. Let's go, PP Gurus.
Dude,
Attaboy.
Rendon is hilarious.
Rendon jersey purchase. Yeah, you guys hear that with everybody reporting today, some of the teams reporting today for spring training, he got scared and has another season-long injury probably. Cannot make it up. Cannot make it up. Gosh, man. You could fade it too, Krabs. You just got to use the top 2 popular squares. Krabs bet the Yanks for a week straight. Royals World Series ticket. All under MLB season, bro. That's not a punishment. That's a win.
Might have to craft some
Brian C with a W nug right there.
Orioles to win the
Orioles
World
win the
Series.
World
Lightning. Wow.
That would be a good punishment.
That'd be horrendous, dude.
That would be a good punishment. All right, why don't we do the 2-piece pop tab? Let's do 2-piece pop tab until it hits. 2-piece pop tab until it hits. I can read off some of these other options that are up here. Aaron Judge more than in the goat whale. Is that actually one of the options?
That is one of them that you said we can put in there, Krabs. Yes.
I can't believe I agreed to that.
That
BTL
one,
24 hour.
I need to see.
Tail Trent's POD for a week. Daily parlay till it hits. Shador should go #1 video.
Yes.
That's an underrated one.
That is
Dodgers World Series video or future, excuse me. Seablaz Preem, Krabs 999, Tail Twitter POD. Been doing that too much anyways of late. Shout out UNC. And 2-piece pop tab until it hits. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Go ahead and spin that puppy. Go ahead and spin that puppy. After an 0-5 day, I deserve the worst punishment on this board. And it's going to be, how about a BTL 24 hour?
Wow.
Wow.
How do I get roped into this one?
People are bricked. There's so many 24-hour debts that we have to pay.
I'll tell you what. Well, we always pay our debts over here.
Oh,
and we'll pay this debt as well. Yeah, that's actually such a W for chat and the community. And I'll tell you what, although that might be the worst punishments just by time consumption and, 20 hours in, you actually feel like the biggest idiot of all time and maybe have half a brain cell and you're lucky if you do at that point. People forget I built this chair at that point of the stream on the last one somehow, some way, and built it very well, to be honest with you. All right, BTL 24 hour.
Yeah, we'll be joining Trent, Rav, and Shelly.
Well, we'd be happy to get them all involved.
I would think the chat would be okay with us waiting till KBO's up and moving. So we could have another.
When's that?
I don't know, but probably soon, I'm assuming.
That's not going to be for like 2 more months, probably.
Yeah, I feel like that's a while, is it not?
I mean,
March 23rd.
Yeah.
March 23rd. Yeah, we could decide what works best. I don't want to make them wait for a month and a half.
Wait that long.
But we're not going to do this tomorrow. Like, we're going to find some time that works and makes sense where you guys can all join or we can all join and we have some games to be able to sweat. So in the coming weeks, we will have a 24-hour. I'd rather have it sooner rather than later, to be honest with you, get it done. Maybe conference tourneys.
Yeah, we can't do March Madness because we won't be there.
Right. Maybe conference tourneys in early March. Or maybe we just say fuck it and fire it up on a Friday or Saturday coming up here and sweat out some plays. We'll talk about it. We owe you guys a BTL 24 hour. We'd be happy to loop in the rest of the squads and see if they want to get involved as well. Also, shout out Rav. Happy birthday today, my man. W Rav. Can we get some W's in the chat? Big day today for Rav.
So
Let's get those W's going. Yep, W Rav. He's getting nice today. All right, I'd tell that puppy if I were you. He's about to be a different type of locked in. W Rav. All right. BTL 24 hour. Sure. W's. All right. Let's keep moving and grooving, folks. We got a lot to go over today. We have a full NBA slate. We've got a great college basketball slate. We got to talk Prize Pick Squares. We got to talk PLL. We got a ton to go over. All right. So why don't we hop into it? And yes, that boy Rav, BTL 24 hour. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's go ahead and hop into it, gents. Before we get to the Sharp Reports. All right, we're going to flash up some of these plays and show you guys, talk about our favorite winners of the day. We're going to drop this Bookit questionnaire in the chat. I talked about this last week a little bit, but for our OGs, we're only putting this in the streams, not posting on the socials. We want you guys to answer some questions. Let us know what content you want to see more of in the coming weeks, coming months. Let us know. It should not take you long to fill out, but if you're a OG, if you're always in here watching the Bookit streams and live shows, would love to get your inputs from this poll, okay, or Google form. Please fill it out when you got some time today. We got the link in the Twitch chat. Dubs.
Let's go.
All right. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And I'm going to take a nasty dog here at home. Once again, I did not hear no bell, Jovan. I'm taking Villanova against St. John's. I'm not happy about it, but I am happy to see some 1.5 starting to pop up. I do love seeing that. I'm going to go ahead and do it here. I'm going to back Villanova, who's coming off of 2 straight wins after a pretty bad week. They're playing the hottest team in college basketball right now, St. John's, who's ripped off 10 straight wins in conference play, and they're coming off of a monumental win against UConn on the road, where they were getting outplayed in the first half. Actually, they turned it on right before the break, and then second half, I mean, they just absolutely dominated that game. Kadari Richmond, that dude's a beast. Luis, he cannot miss a mid-range shot. It's unbelievable watching this team play, but on the road tonight, after that big-time win, I think this team drops one, and I think Villanova, a team that's been fake sharp for the last couple of years, a team that has not respected our coins, after 2 straight wins, this could be the spot to back them. All right, Jameer Brick is coming off his worst career game ever. I want to back him after that, the veteran. I think he bounces back. And I want to back, some really good scores on this Villanova team. Wooga Poplar, coming off of one of his best games of his Villanova career, right? He had some great games at Miami, but he's starting to get going as well. And we know Eric Dixon. He's going to do his job, go out there and drop a 20-piece, maybe more. I'll take Villanova in this spot. This is more of a fade on St. John's, the hottest team in college basketball, with that spread trickling down to -1.5. I don't make the rules. It's a mandatory bet.
Fair enough. I respect it.
Yep. Sorry, Krabs, but this game screams Mississippi State, Florida. It does. I agree. But just when you flip and start taking the other sides, that's when you lose. You got to stick to the plan. Okay? Villanova +2.5. Let's swing it around to Jovan and see what he's crafting up. His first straight bet of the day today, and he's taking us to the NBA.
Sure. Yeah. Let's take the Spurs in the Garden, the other Garden this time. And I think they're pretty live in this one. So I'd like the +8.5. Going on the road, they really haven't been all that good in the last handful of weeks, games, whatever you want to call it. Some guys have been in and out of the lineup, but like we've been talking about it with Wemby. Something looked off, but then he got a nice matchup against the Wizards to kind of splooge and let it all out. And lo and behold, he did. Thankful for his points in the over in that game. But now you're going to play a Celtics team that you can look and see at what they've been doing recently, and it looks like they've been a tad better themselves, but I don't really believe that to be the case, especially when you look at some of the teams they've played, like a desolate Heat team that was only able to put up 80-something points against them in that last matchup. I mean, they beat the Knicks by a lot, which was their best performance, by far. They got to play the Mavs, which was a horrendous performance of them losing outright. But other than that, they've been a little better over the last couple weeks. Got a couple big wins against some of the better teams that really haven't done all that good against some of the other teams. So now, when what I believe is their last game going into the break, correct me if I'm wrong, it is. I think this is a weird spot for them, especially being that they might not have Jaylen Brown in this game. They might not have Drew Holiday in this game either. Defensive identity is not exactly all the way there. So the Spurs team that has scores at pretty much every level, they struggle defensively. That backcourt does. We talked about that a couple times now. But if you want to go past with them playing transition, I mean, that's the Spurs game right now. So I think a lot of those guards, I don't want to say they can have field days against that defense, but feels like a perfect game to kind of open up. And this isn't one of those games where I think the Spurs are going to have to rely on Wemby all that much in this game. There's a lot of games from betting on the Spurs. I want it to have to have the potential of a Wemby masterclass, which this one does, but I think it's going to be a lot more on the guards. And I kind of like that for them going on the road, catching 8.5 here. So I'm going to take them.
I mean, what do the C's have to play for right now? Last game before the break, you got Jaylen Brown already banged up. They've won 4 of their last 5. It's not like they're limping into the break. 38-16. It wasn't the greatest first half of all time for the Celtics, right? So they're not, the most fat, happy, and complacent team in the NBA heading into the break, but still the Celtics at home against a Spurs team. It's not like they're welcoming in, a first-place squad coming into town. They're welcoming in the Spurs, a younger squad who might be a little bit more motivated before the break to finish strong. So I like this play, and I'm starting to see a couple 7.5, 8s aloof. And I think this opened up at 9.5 as well. So it's moving in the right direction.
Sure.
Love it. All right. Let's swing it back around, Goots. I got a couple more plays for the Peeps, and I'm taking the Gamecocks at home, getting a couple points. They've been playing terribly, but tonight at home, they get back on the saddle, and they're getting back in the win column, I think, with an outright win. I'm going to back USC here at home, and I'm going to fade, unfortunately, my guy Padula, which I never really like doing. But I'm fading my guy Padula on the roads. Ole Miss has won 3 of their last 4. They're still ranked. They're doing their thing. South Carolina, on the other hand, is on a crazy losing streak. But at home, I want to back them in this spot after they got beaten up pretty bad by Kentucky in that last game on the road. But they're coming back home against an Ole Miss squad that could be a little fat, happy, complacent. What do they have to get up for against the Gamecocks, who've really been struggling, the worst team right now in this conference? But we know even the worst teams in the SEC can play, and they can hang with anybody. This freaking conference is stacked. I'll back the Gamecocks. I'll buy them low, +5.5, +5, whatever you can get, and sell high on Ole Miss here on the roads. Fade and Padula, my guy.
Wow. Surprised you get some counter with fading your guy in this economy.
I know it doesn't feel right, but it's probably a good thing. Probably means it's a winner. Okay?
Yeah, fair enough.
Chat's liking that Spurs play. Good. Let's swing it back around and see what else Jovan's crafting up for today. Nasty CBB play. Sure.
Yeah, had to do it. This Temple team's like in a super odd spot, which they have been for a couple of games now, but they just had 3 straight games prior to this weekend where they went into overtime. 2 of those games went into double overtime. And then they went on the road and hung with a Memphis team for a while, ended up covering that game. They only lost by 8. I think the spread was around 13. And they did that by, scoring 82 points and shooting 50% from 3 on a lot of very, very tough shots. So, I might have thought the tired legs were going to come into play a lot more than they did in that game. Thankfully, they shot themselves out of it, which was insane to see. And it also helps that Penny Hardaway is a big dog, a big favorite, never really pays out. But now I want to go back to it because Tulsa, as bad as they are, they're such an odd team, numbers wise, because they play super slow a majority of the time, but they're one of the more efficient teams in transition in the conference. It's actually really confusing. So when they do pick it up and run a little fast, they're actually damn good at it for a team that, scores 60 points a game against some pretty inferior competition, really bad offenses and really bad defenses in that conference. So if I were Tulsa in this game, playing a team that's played 5 overtimes in their last 4 games, just went on the road, like I said, and played Memphis pretty tough, shot 50% from 3 in doing it, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. And I know tired legs might not be as much of a factor if Jamal Mashburn comes back to play today, which is a big if, but he hasn't played in a couple games now. He didn't play the last handful when they were in overtime, but he played the front end of this little weird stretch for Temple. So we'll see how much if he's able to go and how much that affects it. But I really don't care because I think for this Temple team that, again, they kind of relied on shooting themselves out of it with a lot of very tough contested threes when they're able to play in the half court against Memphis. I'm not going to say Tulsa's Memphis, but in this game, I think the tired legs finally catch up to them, and you're going to see just a grinded out game where Tulsa catches them on the road sleeping.
Well, the spread's moving in the right direction. Down from 8.5 to I'm seeing 7.5 now. Pretty much consensus. Fade and Temple. I don't know if Mashburn's playing. I tried to look it up, but couldn't find shit. Probably won't know until right before the game. But Fade and Temple, who's coming off a couple losses, but still has overperformed and overexceeded expectations this season. I don't hate it. And grabbing the points with a road dog, that's been extremely profitable in college basketball this entire season. So what's going to change in this spot?
Yeah,
not going to tell you
dogs. Road dogs have been nice to me, Krabs.
Road dogs have just been
nice.
The cash cow in college basketball. We need to bet more road dogs. Okay.
Yeah.
W play. All right. Tulsa plus 7.5. Let's swing it back around, Goots. Got one more straight bet for the Peeps, and this one is gross. Back in Valpo, getting 4.5 points against Belmont, who has been on fire this season. A big overperformer, in my opinion. Did not expect them to be 17-8 at this point. I'm not saying they're the greatest mid-major team in college basketball, but Belmont's pretty solid. They're no slouch. I thought they'd be laying some more points in this spot against Valpo, who is really struggling right now. This team cannot buy a win. They're on a crazy losing streak. They haven't covered a game in 3 weeks. They're not good against the spread this season. And Valpo, just not the greatest program in college basketball, but they're always due for a couple sneak upsets every once in a while. And this could be one of them. at home against a Belmont team coming off a couple wins. If you look at this squad for Valpo, their best player, Cooper Schweiger, the big man, I'll be honest with you, Jovan, Belmont's got really nobody to stack up with him. They've got Pierre, who's their best player. Both these teams' best players are their bigs. Pierre is a forward. Cooper, who I was talking about earlier, the big man on Valpo, he's actually almost 7 foot. He's more like a center. So he's got a little bit of an edge there. And I'm also seeing that there could be a couple injuries for Belmont still. They might be without Schwarnowski, one of the role players who's been sick for a couple weeks in this conference this year, averaging close to 10 points per game. He's missed the last couple, and they've still been able to pull off wins without him. I think at some point that's going to bite him in the ass, having 2 of their role players out, 2 of their stud younger guys. And I think it could be this spot against Valpo, who's only getting a couple points here at home on a crazy losing streak. They've been struggling all season. I'll back Valpo, who does have an edge in this game with Schweiger in the paint, to cover or maybe even pull off the offset outright.
Yeah, it's a gross play, guys. Gross play.
Maybe the grossest one on the slate.
Yeah. I guess we both got one. So we'll let you have that. And then.
Okay. Swing it back around, Goodsy. We got one more straight bet here. Excited to hear this sell job and over.
Yeah, Oklahoma is coming off of a little gauntlet here, which they ran into Tennessee and Auburn in back-to-back games. Really tough for any offense. And, I mean, they put up 70 points against Auburn, so, I'm not going to say they completely shit the bed as an offense, but they looked much worse in that Tennessee game where they only put up 52, and they're really dominated from start to finish in that game. So, now you go on the road against Mizzou. You wouldn't be able to tell it just by, box score watching Oklahoma, but from the beginning of the season until now, especially I guess you could say more so from the beginning of the conference season until now, their pace numbers have almost doubled. They're running a lot faster, and you can say as part of that's to compensate for their lack of size, lack of physicality, which would 100% make sense. But I think part of it's also just because they realize their half-court creation is not all that good. So when they're playing teams that are a little more willing to play that style of basketball, like Tennessee obviously is not, Auburn obviously is not, they run with them and they put up some numbers doing it, especially when they play a team that switches everything. Because when you play a team that's small and switches everything, you want to play in transition. You want to get to the rim because they're a rim running offense. They're not the best shooting team in the world. So it really pushes the issue. And the last team that was built similarly to Missouri, what they did against them, Krabs?
What'd they do?
They put up 97 against Vandy, including, I think, a 60-point second half, which is when they really started pushing the tempo and running it up a little bit. So I think Mizzou's built, they're a little more physical, a little better of a rebounding team, but the same principles apply. So I think Oklahoma is not going to be afraid to run. And the thing that's come with them running a little bit more in the last handful of games, especially, but really all of SEC conference play, they also turn the ball over a lot. And that's kind of the give and take there. So Mizzou is one of the best teams in terms of points off turnovers in the SEC right now. So I think they'll be able to go right there with them. And again, they're not afraid to run with really any team. And I think they'll be just as willing as Oklahoma is to pick up the tempo in this game. So I like there to be some points. And I think it might ultimately be to Oklahoma's demise in this game. I don't know if I really lean their way covering the game, but I think their only shot of keeping themselves in it and potentially winning this game is if they simply just outrun and outshoot Missouri. So I think that's going to be a little bit of their strategy coming into the game. I think Missouri will end up beating them and probably covering doing so, but I just like points.
I can see some points, both teams, coming in off of unders in their last game, buying low on the offenses here. It's kind of a big spread for Mizzou coming off some losses. I was kind of thinking this could be a beatdown in this game, but hopefully Oklahoma comes through and fears is balling as well. Absolute stud for the Sooners. You're going to need them tonight. You're going to need them.
Yeah, I'll need them to do a little bit of both. Go run to the rim, get to the free throw line, score some points, but also keep turning the ball over 20 times a game, giving Mizzou free transition points.
Sure. All right. We got a hype train moving and grooving a couple minutes ago, folks. Feel free to get involved. All right. Anthony Rendon already out. Yeah, Austin. I mean, that's minus 1,000. Minus 1,000. He was missing games this season. You might miss the whole year, to be honest with you. All right. Prize Pick Squares time. Let's talk about them. Been pretty hot with the squares until last night. Went over 2. Let's bounce back. I can't get myself to fade Providence at home. I just don't do that anymore because it doesn't work. But if I could, I probably would today. And if I'm thinking Xavier wins this game, catching some steam on the road, Jovan, who the hell is going to stand up for Xavier and come through and put the ball in the fucking basket, it's got to be Zach Fremantle, who I also think, after looking at his rebound square, might be grabbing some boards too. So I'm going to grab Zach Fremantle, more than 22.5 points plus rebounds in this game. The best player by far offensively for the Xavier squads. I think he absolutely carries them to a W on the road against Providence. Thought that was pretty weird. Not a great Xavier team was catching some steam on the road in a favorite. I was honestly expecting Providence to be at a pick'em or maybe a favorite in the spots. But they're getting disrespected at home where they're typically an absolute wagon. I know they've stunk it up this season, but thought that was pretty telling. And with the total opening up where it was, I'm comfortable backing Zach Fremantle to go out there and do his thing. After 2 good games in a row, I think he follows it up with a third on the roads and comes through and grabs some boards as well.
Sure. I'm in for that. I can't focus right now because I see a vintage Krabs little combo square fade on here.
Really? On the sharp reports?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. And am I ecstatic to see you have the Spurs? I was a little bit scared when I saw that because I'm just hoping Wemby doesn't follow up his great performance from 3 in that last game like he does tonight. But yes, Jovan, I was peeping through the board, trying to find some extra nasty winners for today, spent some extra time, try to find some W squares. And I did come across a couple NBA combo squares. And the one that stuck out to me the most was this 3-pointers made combos for Mr. Jason Tatum and Mr. Wembanyama, who's facing off tonight. And Jovan, both these guys are coming off of games where they were jacking a ton of threes. And honestly, Wemby's coming off a great performance where he banged 4 of them as well. Thought it was weird this was the first square up. Thought it was weird that he was even up in the first place after both guys are coming off of heavy volume from 3. I'll take the less than 6 3-pointers made in a game that doesn't mean shit for the Celtics. I'm just hoping Jaylen Brown goes out there and plays, because if he gets ruled out, could be a couple extra attempts from Jason Tatum. But if not, I still think this goes less than, and I'm fading Wemby after a legacy performance from deep.
Yeah, that was a little Wizards tax, I guess, because he was pretty cold. He was pretty cold from 3 before that last game. I mean, cold period, but especially from 3. Yep. Then he heated up. So, I mean, as much as I like the Spurs, again, like rare time, I'm probably not relying all that much on Wemby. I'm relying more so on the guards, which is a rarity. So I don't hate it at all.
Okay. Nasty, nasty square. We'll see how it plays out. Definitely has some push potential at 6. But after both guys are coming off of legacy games, it has to be done. It has to be done. Okay. Let's go look at your squares. Hopefully you got a 2-piece that you're loving today.
Yeah, I need a replacement square now, because I assume it means RJ Barrett's going to be playing. So, like, the squares off the board changed, juiced dramatically. So, talk about what's replacing that one. But Devin Vassell is my guy for the Spurs today. Relatively simple angle, but you got the 2 playmakers, the 2 facilitators, and Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox that have been fantastic. It's really hard on a game-to-game basis, which I found out firsthand, to kind of figure out who's going to be who, or who's going to be the guy in every certain game, especially when you have a little mismatch like the Wizards game with Wemby on the inside. This one's a little different because I don't think there's nearly as big a mismatch for Wemby on the inside in this game. Even though the Celtics are a little smaller, you're still going to have a lot of Porzingis on Wemby, you can only assume. So the matchup edge in the paint is not necessarily there. I think you're going to have to outshoot them when it comes to this game, and that's really what I'm betting on in terms of the Spurs. The guy that I want to do it is Devin Vassell. I mean, the obvious option, he's either a microwave or he's the coldest player on the court. I'm willing to take that chance. So I think he's going to be a pretty key cog, him and guys like Harrison Barnes, who, I mean, he had a legacy game for God knows what reason when they were playing the Magic. He had like 7 threes. So it could be really any one of these guys, but I think he's going to have the most advantageous matchup on the court. So I'm taking Vassell. Just hope he doesn't shoot toward 8s. Then Agbaji's getting taken out for Vucevic.
Okay.
Take Vucevic.
Kind of assumed it. All right. Big Vooch.
Yeah.
Showing up and showing out tonight.
Same thing as yesterday. Not that like he shot bad himself. I mean, he was 4 for 15. So like, I'm not going to put it all in the blowout, because like he had a million open looks, but even if he, I don't know, was a lot better than he was, he probably wasn't getting there because of the blowout. So it's the same thing. He had a ridiculous amount of open looks. He's playing the drop coverage with Duran. We'll see if both teams end up playing again, but it's the same exact game. He went 0 for 5 from 3 too. So all of his looks were quite wide open. So I'm going right back to it. It's not even a Paolo thing where like I have to get one for, my sanity. It's just the matchup made an incredible amount of sense. He just shot toward 8s and the Bulls were losing by 50 at halftime. So back to it.
All right. You taking his points?
Yeah, he had a triple bagel threes up there. It's not even like juiced to the over all that much. I saw it was like minus 125. It got taken off the board, so I don't know if it'll be back.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be back, and that's what I would really take. But assuming that's not coming back to the board for whatever reason, yeah, take his points.
Right. All right. 17.5 points for Vooch. We'll keep an eye out if the 3-point square goes back up, but love that angle. W replacement square. Okay.
Huge.
All right. W Sharp report chat. Hope you guys liked what you saw. Hope you got something to tail. Hope you learned something. Okay, for now, why don't we talk about the championship series real quick in the PLL, because I got to give you guys a winner after last night's Whip Snakes cake. Okay. Although the plays did go 3 for 4 yesterday overall. The one loser was the one I put on the Sharp report. Can't make it up. That's on me. Okay, so I owe you guys another winner for tonight. And we got 2 games tonight, 1 PLL, 1 WLL. Stick with me. I'll give you some sell jobs here. The Cannons, who won last year in the championship series. I think they run it back this year, and I think they get a big-time win. I'm seeing them catch some steam on the blue book here against the Archers, who just won. They're the defending PLL champs from the actual regular season over the summer. So I want to fade that squad already, coming off a championship. Their team, their roster, it's okay. They still have some goats. They got a pretty darn good goalie, and they got Mac O'Keefe, our goats, the lefty sniper, who's just an absolute beast. But I'll be honest, the Cannons team is a little bit more stacked, and they're more built for this tournament. They're really good at shooting 2-pointers, right? And they moved the 2-point arc up for this, so that's definitely beneficial for the Cannons in this spot, one of the best 2-point shooting teams in the PLL last season. And then their goalie, Colin Kirst, is the best goalie at stopping the 2-pointers. He's an absolute beast from stopping the long-range shots, and I think that could end up benefiting him and the Cannons in this game tonight against the Archers, who are everyone's pick to win this tournament before it even started because they just won the PLL over the summer. Okay, so I'll take the Cannons minus 115. They're almost up to minus 130 on the blue book as well, which is a great sign. I'll take the M out. They've just got 2 great offensive studs as well, Marcus Holtman and Asher Nolte, who Jovan's going to roll his eyes when I bring him up because he cost us so much coin last year. But these guys are studs.
Asher
These dudes,
easily least favorite PLL player after last season.
He cost us some coins on prize picks last year. I'll give you that. Okay, but that's one of the best offensive duos in the game. Okay, let alone just in this tournament. Studs. Okay. I'm taking the Cannons on the ML. Their roster's too stacked. Their goalie's meant for this shit. Okay.
Sure.
And then the late night game, the ladies game. I was talking about the game yesterday, the ladies game. And by the way, W play, the New York Charging ended up winning on the ML. But I was getting confused. I thought Charlotte North was on that team. She's actually on the Boston Guard playing tonight. She is the LeBron James of the WLL. She's the one they've been showing off because she's the GOAT all over the socials. She's the one that's going to be absolutely dominant on the field tonight. And I'll take the Boston Guards on the ML as well. I'll take both Boston teams today in both lacrosse games. And I'll back Charlotte North squads. Just an absolute dominant figure in the sport. Think of like the LeBron James of women's lacrosse. That's Charlotte North. She's going to dominate tonight for the Guards and take them on the ML late night, 9 p.m. on ESPN+. Okay?
Wow. We get to take the Wemby of the WLL tonight?
Literally. Yes.
And we're taking Wemby on the court. I'm in.
It's going to be epic. Love the Boston Cannons on the ML today. I want to make sure I'm getting perfectly clear here. Love the Cannons on the ML. I like them more than I liked the Whip Snakes yesterday, but since we had some cake on the PLL and the Sharp report yesterday, I figured I'm not going to test my luck again. I'll leave it out and let it splooge on the sides, give it a better chance to hit. Okay?
Sure.
Boston Cannons, ML, way better chance those lines are up on your book, okay, than the WLL. But they're both up on some, okay? Loving the Cannons tonight, folks. Loving it. Let's keep moving and grooving. We got a lot of games to talk about. We have a fully packed NBA slate today, Jovan. Figured we'd spend some time talking about some of those games over in the association.
For sure. I'm down.
Dubs. Perfect. Real quick, before we go over some of these games, and I'll start throwing some matchups at you, we're going to drop the link to the hats one more time here in the chat if you guys want to get involved. Only a couple of the hats left. So I can pull up the inventory here. Not many of each color left. So if you want to get involved, if you want to cop a Bookit scripted hat, now is the time. Also, I was informed earlier that if you post a selfie in your Bookit scripted hat under the Bookit post on X, You win $200 Prize Picks promo. Not a chance to win, okay? But you will win as long as you don't wait or as long as there's not too many people. But you will win $200 in Prize Picks promo. If you post a selfie in your Bookit scripted hats over the next week or so, you can order it today. You can wait till next week. We're going to give you guys some time. But if you post a selfie, all you got to do, literally so easy, selfie in the Bookit scripted hats under the Bookit tweet that's probably pinned to the accounts, and you're going to get $200 of Prize Picks promo in your accounts. It's so easy. It's so easy. All right, cop a hat, support the program, get involved. They're also super fresh. I'm rocking one right now. It's literally that simple. Okay, you will win $200 in Prize Picks promo. Okay, Goots, did I mess up anything there? I feel like I did a pretty good job.
It's pretty solid.
Good? Okay. Guys, it is that simple. If you want Prize Picks promo, post the damn selfie. Get involved. And we'll give you time. Cop your hat today. It'll come in a week. You can take it next week. We're going to give you guys plenty of time to get involved. Okay, don't stress about that. What color should I get? Retro Sticks is asking. I think the green one's the freshest. But there's only a couple of those left, I believe. So you might want to move fast on those. I think there's only 2 left of those green hats. Sorry, 3 left. We got a couple of the reds, a couple of the oranges, a few of the blues left, and only a handful of the black scripted hats as well. So now is the time to cop them before they sell out of the color you want. Okay, get involved. Dubs. Easy Puck said he just posted mine. Let's go, dude.
Huge.
Yes. And the black one does work as well. Yes, CDZ bets. Whatever Bookit scripted hat you have. All right, get involved. Dubs. Jovan, we should probably start out, if we're talking NBA, if we're talking the association, let's talk about the best team, the Washington Wizards, at home tonight, getting 10 points against the Pacers.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win the game, Krabs. At least come close.
No way.
There's I couldn't really decide between 2 of the nasty dogs that I want to take, so I'm taking them both between the Wizards and the Hornets. I want to do it. I think the Wizards are live in this game. It's kind of weird, too, for the Pacers because it's their last game, on a back-to-back, going to Washington, to D.C. after just getting, I don't want to say clapped, because, they lost by 13, but I think that game was fully in control last night for the Knicks, pretty much all the way through. So kind of an uninspiring performance for them, coming off of, getting beat by the Lakers right before that. So it feels like they're kind of limping to the break. You got a young Wizards team that's actually absolutely horrible, but they've played a little better over the past handful of games. They've been covering, these big spreads, even if they're not winning the games at a little higher of a rate. So I wouldn't mind riding that momentum.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of where my head's at as we get, ahead closer to the break here, only one more day of NBA basketball before the All-Star break, right? Don't you think it's smarter to target some of these younger teams, some of these crummier teams, some of these, struggling teams who are looking to just give themselves, whether it's them looking themselves in a mirror saying, hey, I closed out the first half strong with a good game, or just, vibes for the team in the locker room, finishing strong and trying to get a win. It's the little wins at this point for teams like the Wizards. And what the fuck do the Pacers care about right now or have to play for with one more game left? I know they're not playing great right now. It's not like they're solidified at the top of the playoff standings, right? But they're in that puppy. What is a team like the Pacers showing up for today on the road in DC a day before the break?
Yeah, especially, not that the Pacers are the only team that this would apply to, but last game before the break, especially for the Pacers after being on a back-to-back when their last 2 games were against the Lakers and Knicks, they're already missing Miles Turner, who for a while, I think through the All-Star break and maybe a little bit after. I wouldn't be surprised if some other guys get ruled out last second. So, that's probably the story of the NBA with a lot of guys today. I wouldn't rule them out of being the most likely one, I guess, to see that happen with.
Okay. Best NBA team since January 1st. Yeah, not playing great. Is that true? Are the Pacers the best team by records in the new year?
They were a lot better in January, I guess, than they have been. They went through their little stretch about a week ago, but leading up to the break, no, they're not playing good the last week and a half. They've lost 3 or 4.
Right. Okay. Look, when the Wizards are matched up against the Lakers, or if they're matched up against an actual a good program, right, or a good squad, I'm not trying to get cute and thinking this team has a chance, but a day or two before the break against the Pacers, that's a beatable team. That's a team that doesn't play a lick of defense with that total moving up to 242. If that total's moving up, look, I'm thinking the Wizards have a chance. If the total's moving down, I don't think they have a chance, right? Put the ball in the fucking hoop. Let these young guys shine like they've been doing. Bilal has been a beast. Kaishan George, low-key a bucket. Like, this kid's a beast. I thought about taking his points today. Bob Carrington might not be that guy. I'd love to sit up here and lie on Rav's birthday and say he's that guy. He might not be yet. I cannot lie. But let these kids play. And against the Pacers defense, I think the Wizards come out a little extra motivated, trying to get one more win before the All-Star break. Because let's not forget, this team ripped off 3 straight wins. And then they ripped off, 4 straight L's? Sorry, 3 straight L's. Maybe they try to get that confidence back and get one more win before the break. Maybe they're the more motivated squad here at home instead of the Pacers, who are kind of banged up already.
Could be noted, too, even though they ripped off those 3 straight L's, there were 2 covers in there. That's 17.5-point dogs and 11-point dogs.
They're not playing terribly. No way we got DJ Fitz in the chat with a one more animation.
That's incredible.
DJ Fitz, where did you get that?
Where did you find that, Fitz?
Where did you find that? How did you do that?
It just
says one more over and over again.
That's insane.
Unbelievable, dudes. DJ Fitz, you just made my day. I appreciate you, my man. And thank you for those 12 plays yesterday on the search screen. All right, we appreciate you. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. We're going to pick up the tempo and pace so we can get to some CBB games as well. I saw chat bitching about it. They want some CBB talk. We'll get there. Don't you worry, guys. Let's power through the association. I'm going to ask Jovan about the Hornets and the Magic. You think the Hornets are a live dog as well?
Yeah, I'm kind of starting the slate with some dogs. So, I think they stay in. Part of that's just because, they're coming off of, not that they've been good really at any stretch when they're in this current state, but probably the worst offensive performance I've seen this year. And they put up 85 points or 89 points against the Nets, which was pitiful. It's now you got, I don't know if I've seen a lower total in the NBA this year than this one, sitting at 202. But if there has been one, it hasn't been by all that much. And again, not that it doesn't make sense with them against the Magic, who are 2 of the worst offenses right now. But you got the Hornets coming off of that performance, and they're playing a Magic team who just had the best performance, I think, from their stars that there's been in weeks. Paolo finally had a good game, looked like him. Franz also did his thing where he doesn't pass the ball and drop 30. So is that going to happen again? Probably not. So out of the Hornets and Wizards, I just didn't bother picking one. Probably get one of them.
Yeah, we're probably not getting both those dogs.
Yeah, okay. Probably not.
All right, Jovan, you're taking the Spurs plus 8.5 on the roads. I like that spot. Again, another more motivated younger squad overall, with more to play for before the break than the C's, who are banged up. Philly and Brooklyn, I know we don't bet on the 76ers. I made that perfectly clear down at the Bookit house this past week. Rav is looking at the Sixers in a sharp spot. I said, Rav, remember, we don't bet the Sixers around here. We don't bet this team because they don't respect points. And then they went on to lose that game by 30, I believe. Again, that rule holds true for me, Jovan. You will not see me with a 76ers ticket in my pocket. I'm standing on that. But do you like them today? Up from -2 to -3 on the road against the Nets.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'm not going to take him either, but I kind of do like him. I would assume, I know he kind of said there's a possibility, but if Joel Embiid plays this game, I'd be very surprised. So,
okay.
At least you're getting the more motivated Sixers out of, not that he's playing bad when he plays, but the younger guys. And maybe you get a Paul George ruled out at some point too. Who the hell knows? Then you're just getting a Maxi masterclass, or Shelly Oubre deciding to be poor one of these games. And against the Nets, it just might damn near work. So, I like the Sixers, but I'm with you. I ain't betting them.
Embiid already out, Gordon already out, Lowry already out, and they're -3. It's pretty weird. But again,
it's the Nets.
It's against the Nets, right? And they get weird line respect every game. They get a couple more points than they should every game, or more than most. It's so weird.
I've been playing kind of decently, though, I guess, leading into the break.
Playing better.
Sixers obviously have not. Just lost as 11-point favorites to the Raptors, and that's not an isolated incident last night.
Yeah, -11. Against Toronto in their last game. They lost outright.
Yeah, and
they're still laying 3 on the roads. Gosh, thank God this rule is in place, or else I'd certainly be taking the 76ers. That rule will save me some coins. Okay.
That'd be rule.
Yeah, the Ben Simmons Bowl. Although, didn't I see he's about to sign somewhere on a playoff, on a contender? I think I saw that on my feed.
Where was that?
Clippers. Yeah. There we go, Goots. Attaboy. Waldy, we will talk for Nation towards the end. I'm going to ask Jovan about it. Don't you worry. For now, we're going to power through the NBA. Jovan, any thoughts on Cleveland and Toronto?
I mean, really, no. You would think this would be probably like a basic Cavs bounce back spot after the Raptors just won as 11-point dogs. And I guess there's probably some good news involved with the Raptors. I know RJ Barrett cleared protocol and might come back to play tonight. Who knows whoever else is going to play. So I probably lean the Cavs, but not enough to bet it either.
Yeah, Toronto coming off that big time outright win. They've actually covered 3 in a row. That's like winning the goddamn championship for them this year. Can we clap it up for Toronto? Them and the Wizards right now, I mean, they needed it. They needed to end the first half strong. I feel good for those guys in the clubhouse because who knows what the fuck they were thinking a week or two ago. At least they got a couple solid games and a win in there. Chad Splugen for Atlanta goal. Sure.
Krabs, there was a Mount St. Mary's lacrosse play that was number 3 on ESPN Top 10.
No way, dude. Did they end up going on to win?
I don't know if they won, but I'm just seeing the tweet on my feed with the play.
Well, now we got to find out because they were laying 2.5.
No, they lost to the Bonnies.
No way they lost outright to the Bonnies.
Overtime.
Oh. Dagger for the Mount.
Still, top 10. How about it?
They were on the actual top 10. Yeah,
the real one.
Crazy.
The big boy one.
That's crazy. All right. Shout out the Mount. I was hoping they were going to be playing some basketball today, but they're not. All right, let's keep moving here. Atlanta and New York. Oh, look at that. Another one of those games that never goes the way everybody thinks.
Play it every other week, dude. Or every other day.
Yeah, I don't get it. Trae Young revenge or Trae Young hates New York narrative once a week at this point. It's crazy. The Hawks are playing good ball right now. They've won 3 of their last 4, I believe. Yes, and 4 of their last 5, actually. So Hawks are playing pretty good. They're almost back to 500. The Knicks, they're not playing bad at all. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're sitting at 35-18 right now in the season. They're home, which is huge. Obviously, an advantage in the Garden. Trae Young looks like he's a game-time decision, but he's likely to play with a banged-up Achilles. That kind of sketches me out. On the Knicks
I don't know
side,
he's ever sitting out, unless it's really bad, sitting out in the Garden.
He's playing that fucking game, whether he has to, whether he needs crutches out there or not.
Yeah. The question is if everybody else is going to play the game, because the Hawks are dealing with a bunch of injuries as is. Yeah, Big Vit down for the count, dude. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So that chalks the Hawks from the start, but then you got the Knicks off of back-to-back, so there's probably guaranteed somebody sitting for the Knicks that we're going to find out about at game time. And yes, big news in the MLB, Krabs.
Timeout, Jovan. Nothing that we're talking about right now matters. Nothing that we're talking about in this Atlanta-New York game matters right now. Throw it out.
You are going to be required to go to his start whenever he hopefully has one in DC.
You can't make it up. Now I got to face Cal Quantrill a couple times this season. Guarantee you he ends up pitching every series at Nats Park.
Yeah.
Probably ends up still having that horseshoe up his ass. The luckiest pitcher I've ever seen. Cal Quantrill coming to the NL East. Dude, you can't script it. He's going to go on and he's going to win comeback player of the year for the Fish. Oh.
Coming back from what? Being moose shit?
Yeah, comeback player of the year from the worst season of all time. Wasn't he on the Rockies?
No, he was kind of decent for part of it.
Cal Cy Young ticket? Goodness gracious. Well, I'm sure he's going to be slicing and dicing the Nationals up at the dish this season. I'm sure he'll have some great games.
Cal fantasy score, his first start against the Nats is a max.
To be honest, a pitcher like Cal, a crafty veteran, who he uses his brain to his advantage up there on the mound. He's not beating you with velocity. It's the kind of guy that scares me for the Nats. It's the kind of guy that mows us down, beats him with his brain.
That's the type of guy.
Scary
CJ
matchup.
is going to go 0 for 4 with 3 extremely lazy groundouts against.
Yes. Miles is asking a good question right now in chat. So does everyone who posts a pic with the hat get 200 promo, or is it a drawing? Mike, Miles, if you post a picture in your Bookit scripted hats under that Bookit post on X in the next week or two, you will get Prize Picks promo put in your account. There's no drawing. You will get awarded the $200 promo, but do it sooner rather than later. Okay. Cop that hat today. It'll come in a couple days. You still have time. All right. But if you cop a hat, support the program. All right. And post under the tweet that Goots just put in the Twitch chat right there. Boom. Any of the Bookit scripted hats, OG Sour. Okay. Any of the Bookit scripted hats. Just take a selfie in those pups. Could not be easier. And we're going to go through and put $200 in all your guys' accounts on Prize Picks.
Basically, this is our way to get face reveal from our whole chat.
Wow. Chat face reveal. Yes. Sure. Don't be scared. Don't be shy. Yeah. Get involved. Could not be easier. And Foster, yes, we do have the Chode fans out. Good. Sure. That could be the difference today.
Yeah.
All right. Dubs, get involved. What about a Bookit hoodie? No, it's got to be one of the hats, my man. But appreciate you, Gabe. You must be an OG. Good. Drop the link again for the hats. We got you. We'll drop those puppies right now in the chat if you want to get involved. Okay. Appreciate you guys. There it is. Bang. We don't have many left, guys. We don't have many left. I want to make that perfectly clear. We're about to sell out of some colors. And yes, Easy Puck, Rap, Birthday Bang, sure. Cop the hat, get involved, take the selfie, and get $200 put in your Prize Picks account. It really is that simple, folks. It's not a gimmick. It's not a bit. Get involved. We're trying to help you guys out if you help us out. Okay, cop a hat. We only have a couple left. And by the way, they're very fresh. Probably the cleanest hats we've ever made. This green one is not coming off my dome piece. You're going to have to pry it off. So fresh. All right. W's, gents. We appreciate you guys. Let's keep moving and grooving. Couple more NBA games here, Jovan, that I want to throw at you. How about the Kings and the Pelicans? People are calling you the Kings Whisperer after one good bet last night. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing a couple or forgetting a couple, but they think you're the Kings guy. So let's go ahead and get the rate.
I guess I've had some pretty decent Kings bets. I don't bet their ML or spreads too often, but I feel like when I do, it usually goes well. Looking back at some of their games, yeah, I don't remember much cake on the side bets or total bets for the most part. So I guess so. I just have no interest in betting either of these games because this game is the same as the Bulls Pistons game for whatever reason, where they're playing back-to-back games in the same spot, back-to-back days, today and tomorrow. I don't know why, but I don't have any interest in getting involved in this one.
No interest?
None at all.
All right. What about Miami OKC? Any thoughts on an OKC team? First place, best team of all time. Just so much fun to watch. Effort squad. They play defense. They do it all. Great team. What the fuck do they have to get up for and play against Miami? Coming into town,
they're a young team.
3 of their last 4.
They're still a young team. I just don't think the Heat have much life right now. I mean, they've scored 85 and 86 points in the last 2 games, and
I think they might be dead.
I think they're kind of limping towards the break, and it doesn't help too that ever since, just like I said was going to happen, Tyler Hero gets named to the All-Star game. He starts shooting like pork, dude. He thinks he's literally him, and he's shooting rod wave tornadoes every single game. So I am definitely not backing them. There's some weird squares up in Prize Picks for the Thunder, though, that I wouldn't mind at all. They got I know Chet's out today, so they got Jalen Williams up there for 5 flat points, which he's probably going to get some burn today, especially against the backup unit. The Heat really don't have a backup center. They'll run times where they have Bam by himself on the floor and Ware on the floor by himself at times, but when either of them are not on the floor, they really don't have a center. So Jalen Williams could be goated.
We got a couple subbies coming in here, Jovan. Got to gas up some of the goats. Step back Harden coming in 2 minutes ago. Almost that time for the best sport to come back around. Can't wait to sweat out. 1 p.m. Nats being down 3-0 in the first inning and then getting those coins back in late night course. Love you, boys. W Step back Harden, who seems to be just as excited for the MLB season coming up as we are. Okay, guys, nobody does MLB better than the Bookit Squad. Okay, we're going to kill it once again this year. So excited for day game sweats. So excited to be betting Prize Pick Squares for MLB is actually the best that I'm at Prize Picks by far. We had a great year last year on Prize Picks. Excited to play Prize Picks MLB Squares during the day, all day, every day. We are so close, guys. Only a couple weeks left. Only a couple weeks left. I know you guys are stoked. All right. Any Four Nations picks? Yes, we're going to talk about that towards the end. So stick around. Only a few more games here. Milwaukee, Minnesota, Jovan, anything in that game? Maybe a Dame
No.
50 ball here?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have had too much of a problem with it, but he got late added. Not, I guess it's still early, so not technically late, but they
No way.
put him as questionable. So I'm kind of thinking he might not end up playing. That's a real possibility.
He got downgraded.
Yeah,
sounds like he's not playing.
Especially when the Bucks do that with either Dame or Giannis, it typically ends up leaning that way. And I know that the T-Wolves play the Thunder tomorrow, but the Bucks, this is their last game. So I would not be shocked if Dame isn't playing. And so, I mean, if that ends up being the case, even if it doesn't, I really have no interest whatsoever.
Like lightning coming in with some heat and chat. Got to be the Jazz today after getting burned on them last game, right? Classic Ben don't break spot. Surprise Krabs isn't back on them. Well, like lightning, we haven't gotten to that game yet. So stick with us. Okay? Because I certainly have not said that I'm not betting them on this show yet. Okay? And I'm pretty much just waiting for any reason to bet them. We'll get to that in a moment here.
Speaking
we got
of
Pega coming in resubbing as well.
Reasons to bet, guys. Kyle Kuzma could be porked today if there's no Dame.
Yeah.
Got a weird 3-point square on the board.
He's probably going to morph into the greatest player in the NBA second half of the season.
I mean, yeah, if there's no Dame, he's just going to chuck. This is perfect time to just mess around and do whatever he wants.
Yep. Okay. Shout out Pega for the subby. Thank you for all you guys do. Appreciate the commitment more than you guys know. Very proud to be a part of the community. W Pega. You're a beast, bro. Appreciate you, my man, more than you know. Appreciate you always in here at GOAT and OG. Pega. Sure. All right. Any late night NBA looks, Jovan? Are we taking the Jazz plus 8.5 against the Lakers or what? Let's just get right to it.
Feel free. Feel free. You can do it. I will not be doing it.
Why don't you want to do it?
That's a solo mission, Krabs.
You don't want to do it because they're just absolutely terrible?
Yeah. It's really not even a Lakers thing. I just don't want to bet on the Jazz.
Yeah. I kind of do want to bet the Jazz today. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, I knew you would. It's just I'll allow that to you. I knew it was a shit bet the first time. Your confidence scared me off of vetoing it at all, which was on me. Not allowing that near the squad ride vote again. That'll be a solo mission.
Okay. And that's fair. You will hear no counter from me on that. Okay. There's a Gobert Kuzma rebounds combo. What the?
That's a hilarious square.
Sure. Maybe we just say the Lakers are good. The Lakers are good.
I think that's the exact reason why Krabs was taking Jazz, because they were good.
Yeah. That team needs Cooper Flagg. How about Liam McNeely's game last night? Speaking of freshman phenoms. How about McNeely?
Literally
My
goated.
Goodness. What a performance. I will be on the Jazz plus 8.5 tonight, and that will be a solo mission. If you don't have the stones to take it, I understand. I will be taking the Jazz plus 8.5 at home with the matchup flipped when they just played this game in LA for Luka's debut. Who knows how many minutes Luka's going to play tonight? Who knows if he's even going to play? It's questionable, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that play out and see how the line moves accordingly. But I will have coins on the Jazz either way in the spot. Has to be done. I did not hear no bell. I'm locking in the Jazz here at home. Same exact matchup. Just flip the home court. I'm taking the Jazz, and I'm backing Isaiah Collier to hopefully carry. We're going to need him. We're going to need him. He had a great game the other night. We're going to need him once again. All right. Let's keep moving here. A couple late night geyserments. Golden State, Dallas. Looks like the Warriors are up to 6.5 points after 2 straight wins against the Mavs. Have not heard an injury update on AD, but last thing I heard, he's going to be out for a minute. So
he's going to be out for a while.
He won't be in this game tonight. Warriors, they're going to have your guy Jimmy in this one, I'm assuming. Any thoughts on fading the good news and backing the Mavs? here at home in the spot? Or are they probably dead before the break?
They might be a little dead, but I mean, the one guy that I'm sure everybody's going to be on today is Clay. I don't really have an issue with it. So, I mean, if I'm going to take any Mavs backing today, I mean, it has to be that. Like, if he shoots tour dates, I'll tip my cap, but he's going to be fired up and chucking, especially because this is like a what else are you going to do game with this if your last game into the break with the Mavs? I believe it's their last game into the break. Or no, they do play tomorrow too, but
wow,
it's against the Warriors at home.
Okay. Golden State has a big game versus Houston tomorrow. Might let their guard down. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe the Mavs.
The Mavs,
right.
I would only assume, I mean, the Mavs are probably going to trot out one of those horrendous lineups where, like, I don't even know, Kyle Kelly was starting in that game against the Cavs. They play the Heat tomorrow. So I would assume, I think PJ is supposed to be back today. Kyrie's playing. Clay's playing. 2 or 3 of them are probably not playing tomorrow.
Tom likes the Warriors. Well, there you go, folks.
Wow.
One more late night game here. One more late night game here, Jovan. Grizzlies and Clippers.
Yeah, I'm good. So good, Krabs.
Okay. Memphis back-to-back.
Yeah.
Clippers coming in off a win.
Yep.
I'd probably lean the Clippers here, but I'm not going to bet it. So we will move on to some plays that we might bet in CBB. Let's pivot. Let's talk about some college basketball winners for today. All right. We already went over some during the Sharp Report, folks. If you missed those, they're scrolling across the bottom ticker in orange. Okay. You can see them right down there. Our favorite plays of the day today. All right. Let's talk about some of these other games, though, Jovan. Any thoughts on Iowa heading to Rutgers? Looks like Iowa's down from 6.5 to 5.5 after 3 straight losses. Rutgers has been very up and down this season. Not really sure where my head's at in this matchup, but I probably would lean the road dog. Those have been extremely profitable in college basketball this season. And with them catching steam and a Rutgers team that, sure, they have 2 young studs who are going to the NBA and are going to be lottery picks, but their team stinks. I've seen this movie before. I think Iowa's a better cohesive unit. I'll take them with the points on the roads if I had to.
Yeah, agreed. I think I'd 100% lean Iowa. Won't get there because that team stinks, but Rutgers, I don't want to say they like haven't had good performances in their little run here where they've picked it back up or they've gotten healthier, but outside of Illinois, I mean, the performances are really not all that impressive. Like, I mean, they did what they should have done against Maryland on the road, I guess, like pushed a line, lost the game. Like, they played close with a couple top teams, but like the teams they're beating are the bottom of the conference. So it's kind of like the Michigan State start to their schedule.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably not going to bet that game anyways, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about 2 A10 matchups, Jovan. 2 really good games in the A10. You got St. Bonaventure getting 2.5 points against Rhode Island. And then you got VCU laying 8.5 points against GW tonight. Very excited for both these games. We can start with the Bonnies versus Rhode Island. Any thoughts on this game? 2 solid offenses. The Bonnies have been banged up this season, though. They battled through some adversity. And both teams are coming in off of 2 losses, not playing their best basketball of late. Both teams have only covered 1 game in their last 5 as well. Are you taking the Bonnies on the road with the points? Are you back in Rhode Island here at home?
Does total not look a little high to you, Krabs?
Yeah, dude, it definitely opened up a little bit high. I know it's dropping now, but 144 opener.
Yeah, I mean,
looks a little high for a Bonnies game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely a little bit of a URI tax, of course, because they play a little faster, a little more offensive, and they're not as inept as the Bonnies are. But the Bonnies have scored 52 and 53 points in the last couple games. So I thought that total not having a 130 in front of it at the open and even now seemed a little odd to me, which I mean that leans into Rhode Island style of everything. I wouldn't mind the over, and I guess that would be good for them.
Certainly. Yeah. Points. That total opened up pretty high. I'm trying to see what happened if the last time these guys played. I think the Bonnies destroyed them, if I remember correctly, but that was at the end of last year. Yeah, they did. Yeah. 99 to 64. They put up a 99 piece. Now, this is a much different Rhode Island squad. That's wild. They got smacked in that game. Maybe that has something to do with the total being a little bit higher in this one, but it's coming down. I'm not going to take the over in this one anyways, but I would lean it with you. Thought that opener was a little too high.
Fair.
And then VCU laying 8.5 on the roads at some point. They're going to drop another game here. The A10 is just, it's too competitive. VCU, they're going to get fat, happy, and complacent at some point, but they're playing good ball right now, man. Winners of 4 of their last 5. They just beat Dayton on the road. We took them in that game. Shout out VCU. Shout out the Rams. They grinded out a win in that one on the roads. Now they head to GW, a team that started out the season great. Then they kind of went into a little bit of a lull, and then they just come off that win against the Bonnies in their last game outright on the road. Now they head back home. This George Washington team is pretty tough to cap. They're kind of all over the place. They can beat anybody in the A10 or lose to anybody in the A10 on any given night. Looking at the spread today, I probably would lean GW, but I'm not going to get to the counter. VCU either wins this game by 20 or they lose outright, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have much interest in fading VCU period, but especially when it seems like an overly obvious spot to do so, aka when you have a good GW team that's 11-2 at home and you're getting 9.5, 8.5, depending on where you look, points to do so.
Yep.
Seems a little bit too easy. But again, I agree with you. I think this game's either going to come down to the last shot of the game or this game's not going to be close for a single second.
Yeah, VCU by 20 or GW outright.
Yeah.
Is what I'm seeing in this one. And that's, I mean, you could actually bet that and be a freak and take VCU alt line and take GW ML and just hope it doesn't hit that middle. I've seen people do that before. Honestly, that's probably how I would play it in this game tonight. Yeah. VCU on the roads, minus 20 alt line or minus 15 alt line. And then you take GW ML at plus chicken. Trent with the tweet. Ooh. Is he firing up search? Do we know? Let me know. If you guys see anything in chat. All right. Let's go, dudes.
Wow.
All right. I want to get the TCU report. Can I get the TCU report against OK State today, Jovan?
Yeah. I got kind of a bad feeling about this game, too, to be honest with you. I mean, Oklahoma State, both teams are absolutely terrible. But the one thing that always is true, I will say, regardless of the status of the two teams, TCU has Oklahoma State's number quite a bit, especially when they play in Fort Worth. So like this, typically, like whether it's makes sense or it doesn't, I usually lean into the Frogs when they play Oak State. There's just something about them. But this year, I mean, it's a little different. Worst TCU team I think we've had in a while, but it's also the biggest style mismatch there's been in a while too. So like I question if TCU is going to be able to keep up if Oklahoma State just decides to run with them for a bit, which is probably what they're going to do. Because, I mean, at this point for TCU, if you're not getting contested shot creation from Noah Reynolds or Vashon Ouellette, you're not scoring at all. So, like, this is one of the worst defenses I think they've played in quite some time outside of, like, UCF, which UCF, I still can't get over the fact that TCU scored, like, 52 points against UCF. That was insane. Looking back, it looks even worse, but I have a bad feeling, especially coming off of, I don't know, an emotional high with getting Dixon his 500th win last home game, then going to Iowa State in the classic, you're going to get destroyed spot and losing by 30. I think the wheels are going to start to fall off really hard towards the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that conference, man, it's a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Frogs just can't hang right now.
The bottom.
But this is a winnable game, in my opinion. This is a winnable game.
It's a winnable game. It's one of like 2 or 3 they have left. It's definitely. I don't think they're going to be winning both winnable home games they have for the rest of the season between this one and UCF. And I definitely think I strongly lean, as bad as that first game was, them getting their lick back against UCF.
Yep. All right. Yes, LMNG. I am on Villanova. Has to be done. Dead Larry Bird is pissed we skipped over the Canisius and Niagara game.
Dude.
Unfortunately, we don't have time. But I'm not betting Canisius round 2 after they cashed for us against Niagara in that first game on the spreads. I'm taking my money and running. I'm not betting on Canisius again. No chance I'm taking them twice against that same team. Any other CBB games you want to talk about here before we pivot to some Four Nations talk? I'm going to make sure we have some time. And Jovan can give a little breakdown on what he thinks happens in the Four Nations. Any other CBB?
Georgia Tech potentials?
Yeah, Georgia Tech ML is a favorite at home.
Yeah.
Sure.
One's a little obvious.
Against Stanford.
Kind of crazy the way Stanford's been playing a little lately. I know I would be in love with it a little bit more if Georgia Tech's, I don't know, last home game wasn't a massive upset against Louisville, but still kind of like it there. Other than that, I don't think there's all that much left in the card.
About Drake and Illinois State. People were asking about that one in chats. Looks like that spread's down to 1.5 now. Drake just doesn't care what's sharp and what's not, though. They probably shouldn't be faded, but I certainly would lean Illinois State here at home, the Redbirds.
Yeah, Drake's just another one of those teams. I hate fading them when it's overly obvious to do so. So, I mean, I think Illinois State's the play, but don't have the stones for it. You know, it would be funny. You know, it would be funny, Krabs.
What?
You remember not remember, we have this talk pretty much every single day, but the obvious massive favorite bounce back spots have been easily the worst wager in college basketball this season. There's a very obvious looking one on the board today that is off of a game that I think everybody watched. Them get upset on the road over the weekend.
Yeah. You're talking about Duke against your Cal Bears, huh?
I am talking about Duke.
Spreads down from 24.5 to 23.5 for Cal.
Yeah. I can tell you there's probably 2 bets total on Cal.
Yeah.
The way they've been playing lately. They're awful. Stojakovic, I mean, he's kind of getting his feet under him. He still looks a little hurt, but I think he started to get it together like in part of the weight game. I don't know. They really struggle with defending guards, and not that like Kneppel can't get his, and a lot of the other Duke guards can't do that, but they're a little better at putting the body on some bigs. So not that really anybody can stop Cooper Flagg, but that's not like the weakest point of Cal's defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stick in it, make it weird. They're also like the greatest first half team of all time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just look like the Warriors in the first half, then get blown out in the second half.
Well, this could be a great spot to back Cal first half because you're getting a fuck ton of points, dude.
Yeah,
you're getting 14 points in the first half. That could be the way to play it.
I might
Cal
have to get
first
involved.
half, get out, catch Duke lacking early, and then they lock in for the second half after Shire rips them a new one in the locker room.
Yeah.
And they're winning by 2 at halftime. Okay. Huh. Any thoughts on Notre Dame BC for Goots? And then we're going to talk about some hockey.
Two terrorist organizations, Krabs. I'm good.
Got to be the Irish, though, right?
Dude, I refuse to take Notre Dame as a favorite on the road.
If you take Notre Dame, has to be the same angle as first half because they love to blow games late. It's like their favorite thing to do.
I think when you have China versus Russia in a game like this, you take the team that has the plus sign next to their name. Take the Eagles.
Probably a good look.
I wouldn't have played in Miami last night, though, Jovan. How about them?
Yeah, that's different though, because that was also a little closer to the number. Plus, you know what the great equalizer of that game is? Eddie Lampkin plays for one of those teams, Krabs. So that
he does
immediately tips scales. That's the first tiebreaker. If it's Russia versus China and Eddie Lampkin's on one of the teams, you take the other one. But when he's not playing, plus sign.
Okay. All right. I want to get the hockey report on the Four Nations. I want to break down. I want you to let the people know, talk to us like we're 4 years old, and give us a quick summary on what teams are involved, what is this, and then Jovan, what you're eyeing and what you're liking.
Yeah, I mean, this is not really my realm. I'm more NHL compared to I know it's NHL players, but international hockey is a little different of a beast. So this is best comparison, I guess. It's to people, if you remember the World Baseball Classic, it's just that, but it's during the teams or during the league's all-star break, and it's all NHL players, which is awesome because this is the first time in a while that like a lot of these stars have actually been given the opportunity to play for their country. Like Connor McDavid has really never had the chance to wear the Canadian flag on his chest since he's been a part of the NHL, which is a big deal. So like a lot of these guys are super excited for it. Fans are super excited to see it. It's going to be a pretty awesome tournament. Definitely, I think the best all-star game outside of the MLB, and it probably passes that now with Four Nations this year, but it'll be fun. It's a round robin tournament. So today we're getting Canada and Sweden, which should be super fun. And everybody and their mother is taking this over. I don't really have any other angle except for I don't know, leaning on everybody for that. I don't have any true plays. I probably will tomorrow, but everybody likes us over because, I mean, the goalies and net are questionable. Canada's team is ridiculously stacked, but the biggest question mark is quite obviously in net. And then you got a lot of defenders that are really good attackers. So it's kind of an obvious angle. I don't really have anything against it. Again, like international hockey is not really my thing. I know this is different and it's a new thing. So I have really no idea how to figure it out. So lean on your fruities and Shelly's. Maybe they'll have some plays for that. But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm more excited for the games tomorrow. I want to see how it plays out. I guess like maybe not even the USA game, but the second game around, so we can kind of see how seriously they're taking it, see what the motivation looks like.
Are they playing? Is it the same rules, or is it like the Champ Series where they're changing it up?
Same exact
Same
rules.
Yeah, same rules.
Same rules, same size, ice, right? All that shit. Okay.
I'm pretty sure this one, I could be wrong. I know they have games at TD Garden in Boston and games in Montreal. I'm not sure if this one's in Montreal, but it'd be basically a home game for Canada if that's the case.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing you probably can get away with in this one, because they do have like the full PB square selections for the most part for these games. So like motivation should be high for like a lot of these guys. I'm not sure what the ice time splits will look like, but there are guys like McDavid who, ever since he's been, one of the stars and faces of the NHL, he has not had the Canadian flag over his chest once because they have not been given the opportunity. This is like the only time ever. So like, yeah, if you want to take SOGs for some of these guys in these games, especially if that one is, a game in Montreal, rev it up. Like some of these are going to be really fun watches.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to take the under tonight. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, it's literally the most Krabs play of all time.
I'll probably be on that under 6.5. All right. Well, Jovan, excited to talk about this a little bit more. Maybe we'll get Shelly on here tomorrow. I'll text him and see if he wants to talk about some Four Nations. Are there any days the rest of this week where we might have a couple games?
Not this week.
Just a one piece.
Yeah, well, it's 4 countries. So like there's the game today.
So there's only so many fucking games they could play.
Yeah, there's the game today and then the game tomorrow and then Saturday all 4 teams play.
Perfect.
So none
cool
during the week.
All right. Cool. Love it. Give me the under 6.5. No fun, but probably a winner. Okay. Awesome. Jovan, it's about that time. Okay. I would love to talk about the squad ride. Are you gents ready?
Yeah.
Cutesy, run that shit. I want to see that train. All right, chat. Still 500 this month on squad rides, I believe. Let me check the Carfax. Oh, no, 3 and 4 in February. So we got to get back to 500 with a squad ride W. Please. All right, let's lock in. We're going to give you our best plays, and you guys are going to click the right button, and then we're all going to cash and be happy. Ready? I want to put Villanova in this puppy. I can't resist.
Can't resist?
Can't resist POD, Villanova. I think the ML is honestly a look. Dude, now that it's a 1.5, but we can take the 2.5 still.
How confident are we in this, man?
Favorite play today?
All right. I'll tip cap.
I was going to give you 2 plays that are winning today, and it's Villanova and it's the Boston Cannons in the PLL.
Okay.
Those are my 2 winners. I will leave Valpo as a side splooge. They are atrocious. I will leave South Carolina, Beeve, Jeff Rosa, Krabs collab off to the sides. Okay. And we will stick with Villanova and the Boston Cannons, who I told you guys, they're winning that game tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. We've done PLL squad rides before. Sometimes that might be what you need to get off the schneid. Okay? Jovan, those are 2 winners for you. Are you going to turn them down?
No, I'm not going to turn them down.
Okay. Let's go Villanova plus 2.5. And let's go Boston Cannons money line. Now I want to look at your plays. What are you in love with today?
I mean, I think the Spurs are beating the Celtics outright.
Okay.
So I think that'll go in there.
Music to my ears. I was hoping you were going to say the Spurs. What about Tulsa's?
I mean, I like Tulsa, yeah. I'm pretty torn between those 2 plays. between the total and Tulsa. Maybe after overkick last night in the NBA, we go with the side. Not that it's the same league, but stick with Tulsa.
Yep.
Trent
Plus 7.5.
C spread. Beautiful.
Perfect. Tulsa plus 7.5. Let's run 4 plays, 4 winners for the squad ride poll today. W. Goots, we appreciate you killing it today. Squad ride poll is up in the Twitch chat. You guys got 2 minutes to lock in your votes, and you are blessed. We've got Trent running the surge stream right after this, so stick around when we're done with BTL. He's going to fire that puppy up right after this, and make sure you guys spoon feed him some winners on the slate today. No excuses. We've got a loaded NBA slate. We've got 4 nations going on. We've got CBB matchups that are looking at me funny. Plenty of opportunities to make some coins. Pitch Trent some winners. Okay? 4 plays, 4 winners for the squad ride, folks. Villanova plus 2.5. Boston Cannons on the ML. In the PLL, we got the Spurs plus 8.5. And how about Tulsa plus 7.5 as well? Dogs are going to be barking in CBB today. And then we're taking the faith in the PLL. 4 plays, 4 winners.
Let's go. Huge.
Okay? 4 plays, 4 winners. Get those votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Get involved. We've got Elite Gambino coming in, dropping a resub. Let's have a week, Krabs and Jovan. Yes, sir. W's. Okay. Appreciate you, Elite Gambino, coming in with the resub. Sure.
Let's go.
4 plays, 4 winners, chat. Get involved. You got 1 minute left to lock in your votes. And we get the surge stream starting up right after this. Okay. Do me a favor, chat. Click the right button. And if you have not voted yet in the poll, it is live on Twitch. You still have some time. Get involved. Every vote counts. Every vote counts.
While we're
Jovan,
chilling here for the vote, Pax picks.
Yep. Go ahead.
Do just like a mindless pitch play that I have is really no more than like the ones yesterday, which went 1-1. But I took the over in the Benfica game, which I have 2.75. So if you don't know what that is, half of it's on 2.5, half of it's on 3. I just think. I mean, Benfica masterclass against Juve in the last game of the group stage, but realistically, I mean, that was more Juve bad in everything they tried to do in their build-up rather than Benfica good. Their back line is still in absolute shambles. I think Monaco is in for a potential upset today, even though it's not really that much of an upset because they are favorites. But in terms of, I don't know, getting to the back line a little bit, I think it's going to be pretty open from the game on. But again, don't love any like confident angles in the first legs.
Okay. Well, there's one pitch lean for you guys in chat if you want to get involved. Okay. Squad ride is the Spurs plus 8.5. W play. Squeak in one more NBA play. Squad ride before the break. Maybe tomorrow too. Who knows? All right. W play, W stream today, guys. We appreciate all you joining, getting involved, subbing, chatting, asking questions. We appreciate you guys. We do it all for you. We do it all for Lembong. Okay. Stick around for the surge stream.
Crazy.
All right. We got Trent starting that puppy up right now. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be.